Hey everybody, GL1 here, and today I'm going to talk about dinosaurs. It's been a while since I've talked about them, but in the past 6 months, a lot of dinosaur toys from the Jurassic World collection and beyond have come out. So I'm starting first with this one, Majungasaurus, which is not something that's come out in the last 6 months, but it's rare, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about that too. So the function of this one is you move the tail, and then he makes his noises, stomping and roaring. And it almost looks like his tail is upside down because the spines are underneath, and that's not usual. It also has some iridescent metallic-looking paint on his face, which, these are always just a guess, but lizards often have, very bright colors on them, so why not, right? The thing about Majungasaurus, it has a distinctive bone dome horn, they called it, on its head. And yeah, if you move its head, it also makes the noise. And its hands what they've found is they have no tendons in them. So they feel that they actually couldn't move and had no claws. But I did paint the claws on there. I sometimes paint, oftentimes I paint my dinosaurs. I'll paint the nails on them. This one, the mouth doesn't have a function, like it's not a button that you move it. You just move it by hand. And a lot of times I like that because sometimes when there's too many things that are automatic, it's hard to actually pose it. Like all the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World toys of the past few years, they do have some lateral movement in their legs and little joints in their arms, unlike the early Jurassic Park toys from the 90s. All right, so this guy was around 70 million to 66 million years ago, which means when the meteor hit, he went out too. He was about 18 to 23 feet long and 2,400 pounds. And one of the great things about the Jurassic Park and World toys that are made now is oftentimes they are to scale with each other. Not always, but usually. So the next one here is Megaraptor. And Megaraptor was a real dinosaur, actually, and it was discovered in 1996. So the first Jurassic Park movie came out in 93, and it had velociraptors that were as big as people. They were not. Velociraptors were about as big as a turkey and about 30 to 43 pounds. But this is a Megaraptor. Megaraptor was around 93 to 85 million years ago. So 20 million years before the dinosaurs were wiped out. This guy was already gone. It was 26 feet long and 2,200 pounds. And it had really, really long curved claws. The claws were 13.7 inches, this one there, long. So, that's over a foot. So it's a huge claw. And so, as I said, Majungasaurus was 18 to 23, and this was 26, so it should be a little longer. So let's see if that's true. And his neck is bent up, so if his neck were straightened out, yeah, he'd be longer. So I'd say that's pretty much to scale. All right, and it's also about the same weight. And it's a little bit heavier looking in some ways and lighter in others. So, it's within the same range of size in terms of the weight. Now, the next guy here is Rajasaurus, which was found in Gujarat, India, and 22 feet long. And he also went out with the meteor. So it was around 72 to 66 million years ago. And there's actually two different colors of Rajasaurus in the stores. You can get a darker brown one. I think even the horn complement is different on that one. This is the first one that came out. And let's see, the function of this one is you push down with his feet and his his mouth snaps forward. So he's got the articulation in the arms. The legs do not articulate laterally because it has that function where you push down on it. But let's see, the length should be, so he is 22 feet long, so should be about the same length as Majungasaurus. So let's take a look. And, well, Majungasaurus' tail is, let's see, is wiggling. So, yeah, they're about the same length. So, okay, that's about the right scale. I didn't have a weight for Rajasaurus, which means they probably didn't find a lot of fossils to go with them. All right, so the next one is Chuanosaurus. Let's see if I'm saying that right. Chuanosaurus, yeah, that's what I'm coming up with. 170 million years ago, so really long time ago. 26 to 35 feet long and 7,000 pounds. So, up to almost 3 times, or 3 times as heavy as the other dinosaurs. And this one has a complex action. You move the tail around and the upper body moves and swings, and then he has a button on his tail where you can have him bite. And this one does have, some of the lateral motion in the hips, not a lot. It's got kind of the ratcheted feet, and so if you move that tail, it goes, snaps up. And it's got the lateral movement of the arms. So this is almost a T-Rex sized dinosaur. And oftentimes I saw this in the stores on clearance. And I think the reason why is in the package, it was positioned in a low position like this. And it looks much smaller. If they had positioned it in the package taller, I think it would look much more impressive, and I think it would have sold better. Also, I think the coloring, I think they should have done something different with the coloring. I don't think this is a really good color up here. I mean, it's just my opinion. But, I think coloring, being that it's arbitrary, because we don't really know what color they were, you could do anything you want. So I think if they made him, maybe a darker green, and maybe this a brighter red, and then had him in the package bigger, he wouldn't have gone on clearance so much. But again, 35 feet long, so it should look bigger than this one. And definitely, right? Definitely about 10 feet longer to scale. So yeah, it's a lot bigger. All right, so moving over here, we're going to go to, I don't want to show you those yet. I have something special with that. All right. We're going to go to Sino Tyrannosaurus. So this is a tyrannosaurid, and it's different because it has this horn. And Sino, S-I-N-O, it indicates it's from China, and it is. And this one, let's see, its action. You have a button here, the head turn and bite, and then another button for the tail whipping. So, dinosaurs, I'm sure, they whip their tails around. And this one, 120 million years ago, 30 to 33 feet long, and 5,600 pounds. So similar, bigger than the first 3 dinosaurs, and maybe about a third smaller than Chuanosaurus. So they're both from Asia. They're both from China, actually. And it is smaller. And I mean, you could see even in the thickness of the body, it's a little bit smaller. It might be a little hard to tell. It's for you guys. Let's see if I can move this back. But you could tell that the head on Chuanosaurus is thicker. It has, the necks are both thick. Actually, Sino Tyrannosaurus seems to have a thicker neck. The arms are longer on Chuanosaurus, and but Chuanosaurus seems to have a thicker torso, in here, and hips. So that would account for a lot of weight, volume. All right, so Sino Tyrannosaurus. And then another one, that Driposaurus, which I was avoiding to buy because I'm just like, well, it looks just like another raptor, but it ended up going on clearance, and he was around 67 million years ago, which probably means it went out with the either right before the meteor or, for all they know, it went out with the meteor. And 25 feet long, 3,500 pounds, so a little bigger than the first three. And his action is move this. It's a lever action, and the mouth opens. Makes different noises. And they just assume with the noises, they really don't know what kind of noises they make. A little bit of lateral motion, and the lateral motion definitely helps them stand up better. They don't have knees except for that really great T-Rex, that high-end T-Rex they came out with, which I've had in a couple of episodes. All right, so another one that I bought that I thought was odd and a good one to have is Eocarcharia. And this was about 20 to 26 feet long, 112 million years ago. And this is the only known species of its kind. Now, I don't know if they found, imprinted in the rock like feathers, or they're just making an assumption. I would guess they're making an assumption, but you never know. And it looks like just a giant raptor. It's got that lever action up here. Move it one way. You get different sounds. I like the lever action. I think it's good to be able to play with and have it fight. But I also like the button that makes the mouth open, because then you can really control it biting. And I think that's always a great feature if you're going to be playing with, your carnivores, and they're going to be biting at other dinosaurs. But quite a stocky looking dinosaur. Right, so I think it's just a lot of assumption, though, on their part on this one, because there's not a lot of information on how it looked. All right, now this one here, this is Cyanosaurus, and again, they didn't find. I think they just found a tooth of this, so they estimate anywhere between 17 to 30 feet long. Also whether it's quadruped or biped, whether it walks on its back legs or front legs, or how much it walks on its front legs as well, is all in question. I didn't find much, just the tooth, but they can compare the tooth to other dinosaurs that have a similar tooth, and this is one of the body designs they came up with. And again, look, you have the tail action where you can move the head and push the button and have it bite. And I think that's a really great action, and when it comes to these toys, it's they just try different things with all of them. They're like, oh, well, let's make this one do this, and there's not a lot of consistency, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. To me, it's a little bit annoying. But when I was in the New York Museum of Natural History, I saw a skeleton of a quadruped, crocodilian-like dinosaur. And it might have been related to this, and I thought that was awesome. And so, I'm really glad that they made a toy like this, because it's almost as big as a T-Rex, and it's you can, and whether it was real and just like this, we don't know, but it certainly is fun to play with a quadruped, giant crocodilian that's higher off the ground, that could give maybe a T-Rex a run for his money. Certainly fun to play with. All right, so now I'm going to get over to these guys right here. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is the new Dimetrodon. Okay, so Dimetrodon is not a dinosaur. We have seen, if you're a dinosaur into dinosaur toys, you've seen Dimetrodon toys, always. And this one, it's got you push the mouth closed, and it has a button on on its spine where, oh no, he's wounded. Oh, he's okay. Oh no, he's wounded. Oh, he's okay. And that's what he does. And Dimetrodon is a synapsida, which is a type of reptile that's actually more closely related to mammals than to modern reptiles. And it was around the Permian period. So this is before the dinosaurs. This is about almost 300 million years ago to 270 million years ago. So really a long time ago. He was about 15 feet long and about 550 pounds. So, stocky, large. You can see so on this side it's got three boo-boos, and on this side it's got two. Okay. So this is the Dimetrodon toy that came out, within the past year. Now, when Jurassic Park came out in 93, this was the Dimetrodon that you could get. And you can see how different they are. This one has, I think, a more realistic looking face. Not that we really know, but I think it definitely looks more like a reptile. The action, though, on this is cool. The action on the old one is you push the foot back, kind of, and the mouth opens. And then they also came out with a variant, and I don't know, I can't see a year on this, but I'm guessing this might have come out for the second Jurassic Park movie, maybe even the third. But same action, but seems to actually open. Yeah, it opens much wider. See how wide that opens compared to this one? So they improved that action along with, changing the paint. So, and I always thought it was odd that his foot was backwards though, So see, the feet are going that way. All right, so that's the Dimetrodon collection. But this year, recently, actually, they came out with a dinosaur. Well, not a dinosaur, synapsida, and it is Edaphosaurus. This is what it looks like. There, Edaphosaurus looks like Dimetrodon. All right, but Edaphosaurus was a plant eater, and it was 303 million years ago, so older than Dimetrodon, but died out around the same time. It was 11 and a half feet long and 600 pounds, so it was a little bit heavier than Dimetrodon, shorter, so it's more stocky, but it doesn't have any action. Oh, yes, it does. I'm sorry. You'd move the tail, and the head, and the head turns. So I guess you could just have him bite something. You push it on, and he's, it's a plant eater. So I guess it's going to bite some plants and then pull it back. So in his name, it means pavement teeth. So whoever discovered him thought that his teeth looked kind of like a road. And so it's probably more grinding teeth for tough vegetation, or soft, maybe just for grinding soft vegetation as well. But you can see Dimetrodon has, more meat-eating teeth, right? All right, so that's that little collection there. Now, I have a raptor that maybe you've not seen. This is Australoraptor. So this was 83 to 66 million years ago. Anything that's 66 million years ago means the meteor hit and bam, they're gone. So it was 16 feet long and 660 pounds, they estimate. So this is a big raptor. Now this is as big as what you would have found in Jurassic Park. And you'd think with the name Australoraptor, it might have been discovered in Australia, which is what I assumed. But no, it was discovered in Argentina. And it was discovered in 2002. So again, it was discovered after Jurassic Park. So they didn't know that there was a raptor this big when they made the Jurassic Park movies. But fortunately, right, for some credibility in the movies, they found it. And you'll see it has a different teeth than what you might expect on a raptor. Now, I have raptor blue over here, which, is not really a realistic size, but the teeth are, see how elongated it is. Now, I guess one can assume that in Jurassic Park, because they genetically manipulated the dinosaurs, the raptors could have been gigantic, right? So maybe that's how it is. But as I said earlier, raptors were really about 5 to 7 feet long. They were 30 to 43 pounds, size of a turkey, and large turkey. And they were around 75 to 71 million years ago. So they died out before the meteor hit, as far as we know. All right, so that's Australoraptor. And along with Australoraptor was around at the same time, well, same place, not same time. 112 million years ago. This is another dinosaur that I found recently, actually at a Best Buy. And if you go to Best Buy, you might find unusual dinosaurs that you don't find at Target or Walmart. Another place that you can find sometimes dinosaurs that you're not going to find in the big stores is Kohl's. And all right, so this is Ganiodectes. I like his name. 20 feet long, 1,600 pounds. So this would be the weight of a small car from the 90s. So if that means anything to you, 1,600 pounds. Let's see. 16. Well, it's a small horse, about as heavy as a small horse, and 20 feet long. So it would be, probably pretty lean. And this doesn't seem to be to scale, though, because if we go back, we see that Majungasaurus is 18 to 23 feet, and this is supposed to be 20 feet. They should be similar in length. And this Majungasaurus is probably about 30% longer, so it's really not to scale in this case. All right. Well, they have just come out with a new aquatic reptile, and let me show you that. All right. But before I show you that one, I'm going to show you Eocarcharia. Now, perhaps you haven't seen Eocarcharia. I don't think it's that common of a toy to find. This one, push a button. And it makes a sound, though, similar to a whale, doesn't it? But this is a reptile, an aquatic reptile. All right. And Eocarcharia, 150 million years ago, 22 feet long and 3,700 pounds. Now, 22 feet long, it should be about as long as Majungasaurus. And is it? It's not that far. So Majungasaurus could be actually a little longer than 22 feet. So, yeah, I'd say it's about right. All right, so that's Eocarcharia, right? Well, this is the one that just came out, and this is Kronosaurus, and I've been waiting for Kronosaurus to come out. And Kronosaurus is 100 million years ago, so 50 million years later, after Eocarcharia, and the name Kronos is for Zeus's father, Zeus, the father of the Greek gods. Well, his father was Kronos, and this Kronosaurus was 30 feet long and 20,000 pounds. So he makes some great noises. Now, it's not really to scale with Eocarcharia because they made them too close to the same size, and Kronosaurus was several times heavier. Eocarcharia was about 3,700 pounds. So, it's like 6 times. This should be 6 times heavier than Eocarcharia. So one of these is too big or one is too small, right? So anyway, here's this has the, instead of a button, it has the lever. And great noises. Very noisy dinosaur. And I think that's a burp. So it has a lot of vocalizations comparing to Dimetrodon. Dimetrodon sounds almost anemic compared to this. It's a lot louder. Anyway, Kronosaurus, I think, is very cute. And look at those teeth. And they actually, look, they weave together like a crocodile, right? So when it grabs onto something, it's not going to let go. It's going to really, catch it, right? Now, actually, these teeth would be made for catching fish or other swimming creatures, but probably fish, because this mouth design is actually very similar to a crocodile, a gavel, I believe it is, that lives in India. And it has a very long snout, and the teeth close together like this, where they weave together. And it's a very successful grabbing, where you can reach and grab something. Very successful strategy for grabbing something slippery. All right, well, next is Mosasaurus. Now, we all know Mosasaurus from the movies, right? And I'm sure you might have seen the Mosasaurus toy. It's gigantic. It doesn't make any noise, but it's got like this real feel thing where it's a squishy plastic, not the fins, but much bigger than the other guys. I mean, here's Kronosaurus, and is going right. That's it for Kronosaurus. Mosasaurus is much bigger. Mosasaurus, 50 feet long, maybe even longer, and twice the weight. So my guess, though, is Kronosaurus maybe is the wrong size. Kronosaurus should be twice this size, twice the size that he is, and then Dimetrodon would probably be good at this size, and then the Mosasaur would be this gigantic scale, as we see here. All right, compared to everything. I mean, look there you go. Panoramic view there. And then we have Plesiosaurus. Now, the deceiving thing about Plesiosaurus is that these actually are all related. All of these, Kronosaurus is related to Plesiosaur, and Dimetrodon is related to Plesiosaur. So when looking it up, this Plesiosaur was actually around from 208 million years ago up until 66 million years ago. So a very successful dinosaur. Aquatic reptile. It's not really a dinosaur. It's an aquatic reptile, so it's its own category. You can push the button, and then it does its flippers, and you can move the head around, and you can close his mouth. And 15 feet long, 330 pounds for this design of a plesiosaur. This is generally the plesiosaur that, when we say plesiosaur, this is the one we think of, and the tail goes up and down. And this is also the one that people think is the Loch Ness Monster. So perhaps if you believe in the Loch Ness Monster, and what do I know? Could be, who knows? Well, then I guess it didn't die out 66 million years ago. And just as a little treat, I got this in a store, and it's squishy. See how, and stretchy. And what do you think it is? Do you think it's meant to be a mosasaur? Do you think it's meant to be a kronosaur? Or do you think it's a Dimetrodon? I don't know. It could be any of them. Maybe they just mixed it all up. but I'm guessing it's a mosasaur. But maybe because it's the most popular one, and I figure that's why they would have made that one. And this one was actually manufactured in made in China, but from a company from Jacksonville, Florida. So almost all toys, not all of them, like Hot Wheels cars are not, but most toys are made in China, even if they're designed outside of China. So we have to be very thankful that they give us all these great toys and make them for us. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I love showing dinosaurs, and I love educating myself about them so I can do a good show. And I hope you all enjoyed that, and take care, and I'll talk to you soon.